It's Nolan.
Women I used to love them try to play me. No matter what they do, can't let them change me. No.
What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everyone is doing well on your way in. Make sure you hit that like button. We're going to treat this like you're going to the venue. You know what I'm saying? It's your free entry, but just make sure you flash your ticket, hit that like button, come on in. Be sure to share it with a friend, and we're going to get this thing rolling. Before I start, I want to go ahead and let Nola Lady Love and maybe others that are interested as well. I now have received my shipment of Southside Nolan CDs. The song you heard on the intro, Broken Promises, is from the Southside Nolan album. So anybody that is interested in getting a Southside Nolan CD, let me know. I actually had to order a CD player to make sure that the music plays. So come Monday, I'll officially have that stuff on the website pending that everything works and it has no hitches in the playback. But just wanted to give that quick update. The official announcement of when it's on my website and everything will be on Monday because the CD player comes tomorrow and I want to make sure everything is good. All right. So that's out the way. New song, Big Dog, is out. If you haven't heard it yet, hit the pin comment below. Check it out. All right. So now we've been debating about this Lil Wayne Super Bowl, Kendrick got it thing all week. Unfortunately, there's so many different angles and layers to this conversation that we're still going to be talking about this going into next week, maybe even next month, depending on what ends up coming up from here. One person that was very vocal about the support for Lil Wayne in this particular instance is Nicki Minaj, of course. They have been, associated very closely, group mates, label mates, the whole nine. Lil Wayne played a part in her discovery, signed her to Young Money. She went out to break records, make records, and have a super successful career that's still successful to this day, right? And all of that comes off of the opportunity that was afforded to her by Wayne. Of course, she put her own work in. Of course, there was other people that contributed to that work as well, from Big Fendi to Aunt Deb, down to Wayne and the entire Young Money, Cash Money team. All of those things, great. But when it was announced that Kendrick Lamar got the Super Bowl placement for New Orleans, there was a lot of, I'll just say, faux outrage. I think it's very interesting that so many people are trying to downplay Kendrick Lamar, are trying to move him from his spot as the headliner, when everybody has been sucking his from the back all year. You know what I'm saying? And that's not to be disrespectful or anything. It just seems to be funny to me because every opportunity that I had to call things equally when it came to him and Drake, I got bombarded by people that were making it seem like they just loved Kendrick Lamar so much beyond this earth, he could do no wrong. You know what I'm saying? But now all of a sudden, he gets this amazing accolade. He gets this amazing opportunity, one of the biggest opportunities that any artist can have in their career. And I see split decision. I see split talking. I see people trying to talk down. And some of these same people were the ones that would have shot me down a few months ago for even uttering anything slightly critical of Kendrick Lamar, which I always took with a grain of salt because I'm like, I've been a fan of this nigga before a lot of y'all even knew who he was, so you're not gonna offend me. I just find it funny, right? Nicki Minaj spoke out. She turned it into a racial issue. She, turned it into a lot of different things, right? She took personal aims at Jay-Z, Tidal, Rock Nation, his entire empire. I wasn't really understanding what all of her issues were with Rock Nation, with Tidal, all of this different stuff. Excuse me. Shout out to L Scott. She put it on my radar that Nicki Minaj was unhappy partially with Jay-Z and team due to the fact that she was one of the early adopters of Tidal. She helped promote Tidal. I think her collaboration with Beyonce was released exclusively on Tidal. I believe that there was a 3% ownership stake that was supposed to go to all the artists. So DJ Academics, although he reported that the artists received a 1% stake in the company, it's actually a 3% stake in the company. And of course, the company sold for over $300 million. So that's a sizable return that a lot of those artists would have gotten on the heels of that sale. But I don't know who all got money from it, but Nicki Minaj claims that she didn't. Okay. So I can't say that this is her sole issue with Jay, but it's one of them, right? So here we are. They say Nicki Minaj made waves on social media after revealing she allegedly never received compensation from her promotional work with Jay-Z's music streaming service Tidal. In a comment that quickly went viral, Nicki voiced her frustration, thus stating, "I didn't even get one red penny when no one promoted it more than me outside of Beyonce. This revelation comes as a surprise to many considering her past collaboration with Tidal. In addition, it's a surprise due to her public admiration for both Jay-Z and Beyonce over the years." Nicki's comments reignited discussions about the transparency of business deals in the music industry, especially among high-profile artists. While Tidal was initially marketed as a platform by artists for artists, Nicki's claims suggest a disconnect between the vision and the reality for some participants. Minaj had been a vocal supporter of Tidal during its initial launch, alongside other major artists like Rihanna, Madonna, and Kanye West. However, her latest revelations paint a different picture of her experience, and I believe these artists also put some sort of financial pledge in to help it launch. I believe, don't quote me on that. They said this is not the first time Nicki has had issues with Jay-Z. 2 days ago, she criticized the decision to book Kendrick Lamar for the Super Bowl in New Orleans over Lil Wayne, a local legend. She expressed her disapproval, believing that Wayne deserved the spot more than Kendrick. It appears the tension between Nicki and Jay-Z may have simmered beneath the surface for many years. Okay? Nicki's earlier criticisms of Jay-Z regarding the Super Bowl booking were also brought up in light of her latest comments. Earlier this week, Nicki publicly questioned why Jay-Z and Roc Nation, the company responsible for organizing the event, didn't tap Lil Wayne for the halftime show. The decision to go with Kendrick Lamar seemed like a slight to Wayne, given his influence and legacy in the New Orleans music scene. Furthermore, it seemed like a slight to Drake. Wayne signed Drake to Young Money. In addition, Drake is currently embroiled in a high-profile feud with Kendrick Lamar. The resurfacing of these comments adds another layer to Nicki's relationship with Jay-Z and the broader industry. Okay? Now, a deeper look at Tidal and artist disputes. When Nicki's complaints are the latest, they are not the first involving Tidal. Other artists have raised concerns about payment and transparency with the streaming service. Initially launched with much fanfare as a platform owned by artists, Tidal has faced multiple lawsuits and disputes over royalties and payouts. For Nicki, the fact that she promoted the platform extensively but claims to have received no payment has led some fans to question whether the company fulfilled its promises. In her comment, Nicki seemed to express a mix of frustration and disappointment, calling out both Jay-Z and the broader industry for what she perceives as injustice. Okay? So, there's that. As fans and critics continue to react, one thing is clear: Nicki Minaj's influence in the music industry remains undeniable. Whether or not her claims against Tidal are legally pursued, they have sparked important conversations about artist compensation and the transparency of business deals in the entertainment industry. For now, fans will be watching closely to see how this situation unfolds. Okay? So that's basically what we have there as far as Nicki Minaj going at Jay-Z, Roc Nation, Tidal. Right? So that's one piece of the conversation. Let me see here. And I mean, to be honest, if you take a calculation of 3% of 300 million, that's $9 million that a person would be owed. It's not often that I agree with Nicki Minaj, but I do feel like if you did the work, you signed some sort of paperwork to receive a certain portion or payout, And once you make that flip, somebody is owed a $9 million payment and it's never made, it's delinquent, it's sitting around. I can kind of understand why a person would be angry. I don't understand why she always makes little hints and does little, you know, tippy taps around the subject rather than just coming out and saying, this nigga owes me $9 million fucking dollars. Y'all niggas need to quit playing with me. I would respect it if it was that. But the fact that we've had to play riddle games and ask and look around and do, you know what I'm saying? Like, tell us why you mad, ma'am. I would have been co-signed. You know what I'm saying? I'd have been, you know what I mean? I'm not a, Jay-Z's my GOAT, but nobody is above reproach. Nobody's above criticism. Nobody's above wrongdoing, right? If you owe somebody $9 million and that's what it says, you know what I'm saying, that they're entitled to based off of whatever agreement y'all did, pay that person. Communicate with that person. Let that person know when that money, when they can expect it. You know what I'm saying? Let them know if it's like a, what is it, buried in stocks? What the fuck, what am I supposed to do? How do I go about make me whole, God damn it? Anybody could use $9 million, from somebody living on the street up to goddamn Warren Buffett. He may wipe his ass with it, but he ain't gonna turn it down. Not when he put the investment and the sweat equity in to help build something. So that I understand. Right? But it seems even beyond the $9 million, there seems to be something deeper than just that as well when it comes to Nicki, right? So when it comes to Wayne not being selected for the Super Bowl performance, Wayne comes out and he spoke his piece on it. He's, you know what I'm saying? We already played his video. We talked about it. He expressed very deep disappointment. He felt let down. He felt like he let down his fans, right? All of those different things, whatever. You know, he'll be okay. Time heals all wounds. I've never seen an artist ever in the history of the Super Bowl come out and basically sulk publicly about not getting it. I'm sure there's plenty of artists that were in the runnings to headline the Super Bowl that were not selected due to whatever circumstances, whether they found a better candidate, whether there was some sort of benchmark that you had to meet, whether it was some sort of activity guideline, like you got to really be out here doing some work, which, to be honest, when you look at the year that Kendrick Lamar has had, what if all of this, and I'm just putting it out there, what if all of this was a fucking plan to begin with? Like, shit, bitch, I'm not finna give y'all an album, but y'all niggas said y'all big as the Super Bowl. I'm gonna show y'all how a nigga get the Super Bowl. I'm finna win the hearts of everybody. I'm finna knock down y'all champion. Finna knock him out, as a matter of fact. I'm gonna drop some of the biggest records ever in my career, and I got some big ones already. I've already performed at the Super Bowl, which, to be honest, if you're a part of an ensemble at the Super Bowl, that means that you're basically putting your bid in, because they're gonna go back to that performance and say, okay, let's revisit that. Should we expand that? They did great with their 2 minutes or 3 minutes or whatever it is. Should we go back and revisit a full headlining performance? So all of the ducks were in a row. The pop out went up there, bodied it. You know what I'm saying? It just feels like the dominoes line up too perfectly for him to not have at least had an inkling of what could be on the other side of it in mind. I'm not saying that dissing Drake and everything was like a plot, but it does feel like it could have played a role in his decision making. I don't know if he got the little birdie on his shoulder that said, hey man, if you want to do the 2025 Super Bowl, we need to see you get a little active out here. And he said, bitch, I'm going to show you how we get active in Cali. I don't know. I'm just hypothesizing. Don't put that on me. Don't take what I'm saying as fact. I'm only saying a theory. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to accept it. The best thing you can say is these other niggas out here be trying to pass their thoughts off as facts. So all of that notwithstanding, Wayne comes out, expresses his deep disappointment. Doesn't congratulate Kendrick. I thought that was whack. Nicki Minaj puts out another statement underneath Wayne's post and says, "This too shall pass. But what you've done for the hip hop culture will remain. It will stand the test of time. Many times our greatest and most dehumanizing test is just a way for God to get the glory. You were simply used in a war of egos." All right, so here we are again. She's claiming that Wayne is collateral damage in an ego war. This is something that she said the other day as well. And she's basically been alluding that Jay-Z and his ego is stopping him from supporting Wayne. I don't see how Jay's ego ever stopped him from supporting Wayne by keeping his home intact, by paying his taxes, by looking out for him, by releasing a project with him via Tidal when he couldn't release nothing else. I don't see how the ego is so big that they were just together a couple weeks ago. But this is her purview of the situation, not particularly Wayne's. Right? She says, to people who are empty inside, all they have is their temporary power. Once again, this is all aimed at Jay-Z. Temporary power, basically saying, as him and his company, as of today, they have the deciding power over, or some level of deciding power, let's say that, with the Super Bowl and the committee, right? May not always have that. The contract may expire at some point and perhaps it may not be renewed, right? Then you look at it from a spiritual point, which she seems to allude to. On this earth, you only have but so much power. But when you go, you can't take it with you and you can't remain in power. Do I agree with this angling? No, but this is how she feels. She says, now every day, these wicked people are spending money to circulate the worst of you. That part, what do you mean? Who's spending money to circulate the worst of Wayne? It's actually free to circulate the worst of Wayne. It's perfectly free. The information is available. And as somebody that fucks with Wayne, that loves his music, that's followed his story, the worst of Wayne is not hidden. Wayne has made it very apparent he lives by the beat of his own drum. He speaks his mind, his heart, willfully. Better or worse, it is what it is. Whether it be his thoughts on Black Lives Matter, whether his thoughts on racism not existing, whether it be certain lyrics where he emphasizes interest in light-skinned women. All of those over anything else. Wayne's worst is not hidden. You don't have to spend no money to expose it because he will give it to you. He's giving it to us in layups. She says, but the Lord will nullify each and every single attempt, and not only will it return to sender, it will be replaced with the best of you. You are human. They are not and never will be perfect. Everyone is human, of course. However, nothing is guaranteed. Had they said, Wayne, we're going with you for the Super Bowl this year, okay? And Wayne had that guarantee in pocket and niggas just at the 25th hour said, nah, nigga, fuck you. All right, that would be understood. But Wayne came out his own mouth and said, nobody told me. Nobody said that this was mine for the taking. That was my mistake. Let him own his mistake. Why are people trying to coddle this man in this fashion? It makes no sense. He owned up to his own mistake by feeling entitled, by accepting that it was his when it was never on the table. Perhaps there may have been conversations, but even a conversation is not a guarantee. And as somebody who's been in the record business for 25 going on 30 years, he should know how this works. She continues, and when they go out of their way to circulate the worst of human beings, the worst of them shall be circulated and magnified too. It will be their demise. The Lord has warned them time and time again. Their stone cold hearts believe they are above reproach, but this time they'll regret it. I don't see how Jay-Z spread it the worst of Wayne when Jay-Z ain't said a motherfucking word. Now, I do understand Nicki Minaj's gripe with Jay-Z as it pertains to the money she's owed. Perhaps she expected to do some other business with Jay-Z, Roc Nation, etc., and that may have fallen through. Perhaps that's also an issue, especially with the timeliness of them getting Megan Thee Stallion on board. Maybe those talks of her being with Roc Nation may have come around the time they first got Megan, but it wasn't no competition with her because they had a relationship of some sort and they were collabing. So it was maybe a two-pronged thing. Like, okay, cool, we'll fuck with both of y'all. But maybe they pulled their resources back when the pandemic hit and they said, we're going to focus on what we already got. I don't know. Maybe she felt slighted. Maybe that was the beginning of her issue with Megan Thee Stallion, because we really don't know what led to things going bad outside of a Cardi B collaboration that went global. You know, at that point, she unfollowed her after the WAP thing went viral. And maybe at that point, her wheels started spinning, saying, okay, they never really fucked with me anyway like that. They really want to try to replace me with this girl. Bet. And you motherfuckers owe me $9 million. And blah, 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 blah. So maybe she's got a Rolodex of different things. Once again, we don't have that information. Despite the targeting that she's put out there, she never gets to the meat of the actual issue. I think that is a great disservice that you do for yourself. Okay? So there we have that. She doubled down on her displeasure with Jay, with Roc Nation, with Tidal. She doubled down on the decision of the Super Bowl not being up to par. But in all of these instances, I do wonder, what can we do to change it? You haven't taken Jay-Z to court for your $9 million. If there's a contractual obligation that you were owed, sue his ass. Jay-Z does have some of the most powerful lawyers in the game. But if you got an ironclad contract and it wasn't a handshake, you should be able to prove that in court. You should be able to get what you're owed. Jay-Z ain't never Jay-Z has had to pay some people in his days. It ain't like he's just undefeated. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We'll see where it goes from here. But I think what we won't see is Wayne hitting that Super Bowl stage. I think it would take a lot of grace from Kendrick Lamar's part to still extend that invite even after Wayne came out and said his piece, which of course he's entitled to express his disappointment. But the fact that he couldn't even congratulate that man, take 2 seconds out of his little, video, I feel that exhibited, a lack of integrity. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all been good. Kendrick has expressed an immense amount of respect and love for Wayne. I've talked about it all week. So I don't like that piece. Let me know what y'all think about this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, become an insider. Once again, like and share this video on the way out, and I will catch y'all on the next one. All right, peace.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rag. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef for computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. But drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I been dropping these haters like calories. Cross some out, came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no gunner. Packing the stick with a drummer. When I catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.